Okay, Rob, let's get into another team that's stinking up the joint, and that's the L.A. Lakers.
Yep.
They're 0-3. Everyone is focused on Russell Westbrook. And look, Russ has played poorly. He shot poorly. I'll give him credit for playing with high energy, with really going after it on the defensive end, which has helped them, Rob. Believe it or not, they were like 22nd or something like that in defense last year. Right now, it's early, but they're third. So they have played good defense, and he's been a part of that. Obviously, Anthony Davis, the main thing, but Russ has been active, and Patrick Beverly, more so than Russ. But still, he's trying. The problem is he can't shoot, and he won't stop shooting. And then, of course, he's a poor decision maker. Those two things kill him. But, Rob, everyone's pouring it on him. LeBron said during his press conference after game 3 when they took the bad shot with 27 seconds left, he could see, and it was, Rob. And I don't think the reporters were trying to, necessarily start anything, but the story was Russ and his poor decision-making, and LeBron's the leader of the team and a good decision-maker, and so you're trying to see what he says. But LeBron sniffed it out and wouldn't comment. But, Rob, you see it. Magic Johnson talked about it on Club Shay Shay. I don't know if you saw that.
I did, yep.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on this Lakers situation with Russ?
Chris, I'm going to break ranks with everybody. I am. I am going to blame the Los Angeles Lakers 100% of this mess. Wow. 100%. And that doesn't mean that I'm letting Russ off the hook for not playing well, Chris, or making shots. But this was a lose-lose situation from the very beginning. You know this, and I know this, Chris, because you laughed off originally when it was talk that they were going to trade for him. You laughed it off because you looked at it and you said, this doesn't fit. Me and you sat on this radio show and said, this will not work. This doesn't fit. He doesn't compliment playing with LeBron. What are they doing? And they let it go on all last year. It was terrible. And then after not making even the play-in, Chris, they went 4 months without winning back-to-back games in the NBA. Who does that with all the bad teams in this league? Nobody. Back-to-back wins for 4 months? Ludicrous. And then, after the year's over, everybody knows you can't bring Russell Westbrook back. Everybody and their uncle. And what do? Sit around. Oh, we're not trading our draft choices, our picks. They've been trading draft picks since the cows came home, Chris. And now all of a sudden, the Lakers are worried about 2027 with a 20-year LeBron James in his 20th year in his career, and they're worried about the future. More nonsense. Yep. Russ twisted in the wind all off season, Chris. His name was mentioned for this trade, that trade. He scrubbed his social media of all Lakers stuff. His head was all messed up. Then you hire Darvin Ham, and you give him the script and tell Darvin Ham to tell anybody who will listen that he was going to be the Russ whisperer, Chris, and he was going to make this work. It wasn't fair to Darvin Ham, and it wasn't fair to Westbrook. And now here we are, 3 games in, and all year we're going to hear about Westbrook and how bad he is. They lost that other game to Portland, Chris, leading by 7. That was a bad shot by Westbrook. I'll be the first to say it. You got LeBron and AD, 2 healthy players, 2 stars in this league. You can't hold a 7-point lead with 1:50 to go at home? I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, Westbrook is off the hook. This is about the Lakers. Clean up the mess. You guys in the front office, you ownership, stop this. Send this guy home or send this guy packing. One or the other, Chris.
Well, I can't go that far. I am not letting Russell Westbrook off the hook. I admit, Rob, he's being made the scapegoat. I agree with you. I mean, we don't have to go back to the beginning. Before you said, we said it wouldn't work. It goes back before that. We said, no way. This isn't happening. Like, really, please. That's ridiculous.
It didn't make sense.
Right. Like, we didn't even think it would happen. Then it happens, or it becomes real, and you knew, this might happen. And then we were like, that's crazy. It won't work. So I'm with you on all of that. And Rob, I said it. They should have traded Russell Westbrook and a pick for John Wall. John Wall's with the Clippers now, and I know it's early, but he's averaging 16 points.
He looks
on
good.
52% shooting. Right. And John Wall can play point guard. Russell Westbrook is one of the most unique superstars in the history of the NBA. Maybe in the history of the three professional sports, major sports in America, because he's not very skilled, really that skilled, relatively speaking. He can't shoot. He is such a great athlete that in a league full of great athletes, he's been able to excel largely based on his athleticism. Doesn't make great decisions, but he can play point guard. Like, he is a tremendous story and has had great success and will be in the Hall of Fame. He's already top 75 ever. But, Rob, I won't let him off the hook because I've said it. He can't, he only plays a certain way or only can play a certain way. He, like he has to be the star. He has to have the ball in his hands. But he's not a robot either. He doesn't have the skill set to really, be a spot up shooter or a catch and shoot guy or something like that. But he is not a robot and he is not stupid. He does not have to take all these bad shots. I'm sorry. You've done it all individually, Russell Westbrook. Only thing now for you to is win a championship. And even if you do it as a role player, and I know they're light years away from a championship, but I'm just saying, even if you do it as a role player, it will help your legacy. Why are you taking 4 3-pointers a game when you're shooting, get this, Rob, 8% from 3? 8% from 3. And so I'm with you to a certain extent, but I will not absolve Westbrook is what I'm saying. And then, Rob, I don't know. He might be going home. Rob G said, have you seen it? There's a report that he's questionable for tomorrow?
Why? Because he's got a hamstring?
He's got a hamstring, supposedly. Come on. That hamstring's what kept him out of, that preseason game when he came off the bench. Right. Now he's got a hamstring, supposedly, and might not play in the next game. This looks like the beginning of the end, Rob. Like, this is essentially sending him home. Letting him save some face because you're a superstar, but you're not going to play, at least for a while. So, maybe that, I didn't want to send him home. I thought unless he asked for it, and maybe he did ask for it, or if he starts acting up and talking crazy and all that. But I think this is the beginning of it, Rob. A hamstring that I haven't seen any indication of in any of these games.